If you're currently struggling with visual disturbances, such as visual snow, floaters, trailing images, after images, you'll know just how impactful and frustrating these symptoms can be. And it feels like it takes over your entire life and your entire attention. It really makes it hard to focus on anything else. And our instinct is often to try and keep checking or to keep monitoring and ultimately trying to figure out if they're getting worse or if they're getting better. And that's only natural, isn't it? We want this sense of control. We want this sense of certainty or relief, especially when things feel so out of our control and unpredictable. The idea is that by checking, we'll figure it out and gain some control over what is happening. But the thing is, the more we check, the more we notice them. And the more we notice them, the worse they seem. And this isn't because the disturbances are necessarily getting worse, but because we've started to shine this spotlight of attention onto them. We've become hyper aware and fixated. So every flicker, every symptom that we notice, every shift in our vision has now just become under this microscope. It's like trying to forget something and then checking every few seconds to see if it's gone yet. And the moment we check, it's still there. And so this cycle continues. And I found myself in this trap before. I'd notice them the more I look at certain walls, up at the sky, or in the evening time. And I start to compare how they felt compared to like the previous time that I had noticed them, maybe earlier that day, or the day before, or the week before, and sort of try and monitor and figure out, are they getting worse? Are they getting any better? Is it still there? And while it's completely normal to feel irritated, upset, and scared in those moments, what I was actually doing was reinforcing the idea that these disturbances were something to be feared. And I think what a lot of people miss is that it is this constant evaluation and judgment process that keeps our brain fixed on them. Our brain's job is to keep you safe. So if it perceives something as dangerous, it's going to keep bringing your attention back to it just to make sure that you're aware in case you need to do something about it. But in doing this, it makes it harder to let go of this cycle of checking. And that's why it's also really important to change your attitude towards these symptoms and work on dropping the evaluation after you notice them and judging them as bad or wrong. It's really important that we start to become a little bit indifferent to them and build up our tolerance towards experiencing them so that ultimately they don't matter as much. And this shift can sort of only happen when we stop this cycle that we end up in. That means less checking over time, less evaluating, and it's not about forcing it or pretending that they aren't there. It's about allowing them to be there without giving them all of our attention. Now, I know that for a lot of people, they are just there whether you're giving them attention or not. And yeah, it's incredibly frustrating and upsetting because it's hard to access your life. But if we can just work on less evaluating and not applying judgment to them and deeming them to be bad or dangerous, this is going to help us make that shift. So if you've noticed yourself falling into this cycle of the more I check on them, the worse they get, well, now you know why, and you don't need to keep checking. You can start to slowly reduce the focus and attention that you give to them. And slowly, the more you start to teach your brain that they aren't dangerous, the more it will get the message that maybe I can start to leave these alone. And what you will find naturally over time, the disturbances will start to fade into the background. But first, in order to do that, it needs to perceive them as not dangerous.